Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome in to the AOE with AD. Attitude over everything. Former Husker football national champion, speaker, and author, Aaron Davis. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's up, folks? It's another AOE, Attitude Over Everything podcast. I am your host, Aaron Davis. It is great to be here with you on this Wednesday night. I hope your Wednesday night's going great. In fact, I hope your week is going great. And folks, I tell you what, think about this little fact for a second. I was thinking about this, and Jake Sorensen, one of my co-hosts at one of the other radio personalities at The Ticket, said this morning, and this blew me away. The 4th of July was 2 weeks ago. Think about that for a second, y'all. It is July 19th right now. We embark on the 20th tomorrow. And there's something about the 4th of July that makes things, after that week is over, and it was crazy with it being on a Tuesday this year. And so that whole week felt like the 4th of July, if you would. It was nuts how crazy that week was. And here, you know what? In stores already. Now, I know some of you in education that may be educators or administrators or work some shape or form with education. You're thinking, oh, man, because in those stores, it says back to school specials. Already is back to school specials. So things are changing right there. And folks, it's a great night. Harrison H. Baum, you in the house tonight, my man?
Yeah, what's good, AD?
Harrison, okay, you're past those days now, man, with school. You're past those. Does it feel weird to you that it's July 19th?
Yeah, we were talking about the other day, dude. This summer, it once you hit 4th of July, it's the end of July before you know it, and football's right around the corner. I feel like 4th of July is kind of that last hoorah before you're ready to embrace fall.
That's it. And bro, it goes so fast once you get past that 4th. Dude, I'm just sweating so bad. My glasses are getting foggy, man. I'm in my home office. I got Niagara Falls coming off my bald head right here, bro.
Oh my God.
It's winding up pretty quick, Harrison. A few little tidbits, man, before we get into today. We have our guest, my business partner, one of my best friends, Todd Kelly, is going to be joining us on the stream very quickly here. He's on the Pacific Northwest, so he's obviously 2 hours behind us. We'll get more into that. But before we get into that, Harrison, I'm going to ask you this, man. What's the hardest thing you've had to do exercise-wise, regime-wise, as you prepare? Just like maybe, I don't know if it was 2-a-days for you. I don't know if it was weight room sessions for you. What's the hardest workouts you've had when you're an athlete? Well, still an athlete, but when you're in athletics, which one or one stick out to you the most that made you really have to redefine your attitude and stick to this, man? What are those for you, if you can remember those?
It's definitely 2-a-days football. That's a humbling experience, and thank God that's a team sport. Otherwise, I don't know how many people would make through 2 days. Right. It was, you get up early, and that was your conditioning. So you're feeling like you got your conditioning out of the way, right? Your weight room stuff. Then you get to practice the second time that day after taking a power nap, and there's more conditioning. And you got stations where you're doing backwards bear crawls up the hill, and they blow the whistle and they yell you're late before you even had a chance to take a step. So you're just running. And it tested you, man. It tested you. You're late before you even have time to get moving. It was a lot. But like I said, that's why it's a great team sport. I don't know, man, how I powered through those if I didn't have other guys with me doing that same brutal 2-a-day routine.
See, okay, now here's what, that's crucial. That's interesting what you just said, and also crucial what you just said. You had other guys with you helping you get through that. Our guest tonight, you think about an Ironman competition or a single person sport, single individual sport. What keeps them going? To where, the other people out there with you, you're competing against them. And of course you have your teams that are traveling with you along the route they'll go on, whether it's the swimming part, the running part, or biking part. But think about this, Harrison. Would you have been able to push yourself as much if there was no one there watching?
I mean, if I'm being honest, man, that's to love something that much to do it that hard when no one's looking. Like if I'm being honest with myself, if it was basketball, sure. If it's football, no. I mean to get to that level, pushing myself on myself, doing a 2 a day, waking up that early and hitting it again a few hours later. Like I I think everyone's a little different, but when it came to football, yeah, I needed my guys around me to get through that stuff because it was hard, man. It just is.
And you know what? I think football, you have a great point here. In football, it's a sport to where it's designed to where you have to rely on others, like any other team sport, not just football. You look at basketball, baseball, you can't do it yourself. So it's the way it's set up, the way it's designed. You have to depend on others. But on the training part of it, that's something to where Coach Osborne always tell us this: in championships are won in empty stadiums. Empty stadiums. I shared with the team today at Lincoln Northeast. I spoke for one of their summer camps for some of their players. It was at Seacrest Field that's here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it's completely empty at this point, except them and the maintenance people, etc. It's empty. You win those games when there's empty stadiums in the dog days of summer, in the evenings when you're at your summer conditioning, when it starts getting colder out here in the Midwest and parts of the country to where you still have to practice. And that October evening practice is a lot different than that August evening practice, as we both know. Mindset it takes to keep that, though, even when your body's saying, okay, I'm done. Now, bring it back to the workout part of it. Harrison, I'm going to tell you what tested my mental resolve even more than almost 2-a-days, okay? Twofold. When COVID hit and the gym shut down, we didn't have a choice but to find alternative places and ways to work out. Harrison, I remember going to Play It Again Sports. They literally had no dumbbells available except like 1.5-pound dumbbells. That was it. They were sold out.
I believe it, man. I became a runner during that time. I lost a crazy amount of weight because I was just that's all you could do.
Well, man, you said you became a runner. Hey. Well, think about it. What else? There wasn't a lot of other options, though, Harrison.
Oh yeah, it was tough.
It was tough. I'm curious of what some of you were doing too when COVID hit and it tested your mindset and your resolve and your attitude. See, it's easy, folks, to have a great attitude when things are going great. It doesn't take any effort. But what about when you're tested in life? A thing like we did with COVID, bro, Harrison. I set up, and thank God, for Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, they set up virtual classes. I mean, you're talking about when they talk about necessity is the mother of creativity. Necessity is the creativity of creativity, because they literally created a virtual portal to where we could work out from home. They would set it up on Facebook Live, and Harrison, I'd work out in my garage at 5 a.m, and I'd work out again at 5:30 in the evening. Now, people might say, man, AD, that's crazy. That's stupid. That's crazy. No, it kept me from going crazy, Harrison, because on this monitor, this is all we could do was be on screens for the most part. So I had no choice. So that was a tough period for me right there during COVID of just testing my mental resolve, my physical resolve, my spiritual resolve, psychological resolve, because a lot of us was going stir crazy. But I'm going to tell you the thing that was the most difficult for me from a physical aspect of getting in shape and pushing myself beyond boundaries I didn't think I existed. Harrison, post-cancer surgery. Brother, I could not get out of the bed on my own. I'll never forget after I post a picture quite often when I'm speaking, I share it. They made me get up a few hours after my surgery to walk around because I had to get up, and get the circulation going.
Right.
Well, it took a couple nurses to get me out of my bed, to get me on my walker. And I woke up from surgery. Notice what I said, Harrison. I woke up and I had a catheter. You know where? I'm like, wait a minute, how'd that get there? You know what I'm saying? I wonder what happened when I went to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Guys do it to a brother, man. And so then you're trying to make that thing, it's completely uncomfortable and painful. And I have these 6 incisions across my stomach and my abdomen where they removed my prostate through robotic prosthetic process. Bro, I'm in pain. I'm pissed. I'm scared. I'm anxious. And I remember them helping me get into this walker. My catheter is strapped to the walker, and every step was painful. I told them, I don't want to do this. They said, you don't have a choice. And finally, Harrison, I had to tell Aaron to shut up. Tell Aaron to shut up. Some of you listen to this right now may not be going through anything like that. Maybe it's something, it's job related or something, it's just life related. And you find yourself looking for a way out when you know the only way to get through is to go through, but you keep trying to find a way out, but you got to go through it. I had to keep telling myself to shut up and get through it, AD. That's the only way through it. That by far. 2 days, Harrison, at Nebraska, with the physical beating that I took from the black shirts, me being a scout team guy and a receiver at that, getting pounded by those guys. And
yeah, it's a hell of a time to be getting beat up by the black shirts.
Yeah. And there's the times when I played, I mean, and big shout out to my big Husker brother, Troy Dumas, who was just honored, and rightfully so, and well overdue, to Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. A big shout out to my boy, TD. But those, imagine guys like that just hitting you over and over and over. Even all that, Harrison, paled in comparison to my post-surgery rehabilitation, man, of getting my body back together, because I was used to getting up when I wanted to get up and doing things that I wanted to do. But just I know, like Todd had to do during this time, he also had to push himself to resolve as well. Harrison, let me ask you this, because he's going to be joining here shortly.
Yeah, but we got about 7 minutes on this. We'll go to break at 2080.
Yeah, he'll be joining us pretty, like I said, at 7:20. He'll join us on that break part. I had to think. There's a few things I had to think about during this whole process. Why do I want to get back to being healthy again? You know, there's always you got to have some strong reasons, and like I always say, strong reasons weaken excuses. And I had to fight myself. And the biggest battles we fight every day, folks, and the way to keep the attitude of everything. It's you versus you every day. It's you versus you every day. Harrison, on some of those runs, you said you became a runner. Prior to COVID, did you run much, or is that something you always did? What was your main motive, activity of choice before COVID hit?
Yeah, so it used to just a big lunch break. This is when I did all maintenance. I wasn't even at the ticket yet. So I just lunch break, there's track. You know, I maybe hit like a jog, but I wasn't running. Then I'd spend the rest of the time in the weight room. Once that weight room's closed down, you know, you got to find different ways to just stay in shape. And I just stopped working out completely for a little while. And it's crazy how fast, how quickly that makes you feel worse.
Right.
You know,
right.
It was such a weird thing. And that's why, again, shout out Farrell's, because, you know, when you stop working out, it really does kind of hurt you mentally in a way. You're not reaching your full potential. In a situation like that, you know, I could just tell I was getting more depressed. You know, I was sitting in my room more. Man, I can go work out, or hey, I can just fire up another game of 2K. You know, why do I need to go out for a run right now? And guess what? By 10 days of playing 2K, you get very stir crazy, and then you just have this energy you're not using. It's just going to waste, and it's like that energy just builds up inside you, and it turns into anxiety, and you're just not releasing any of it. So. Yeah, it took for me to get to a darker spot before I realized, like, I'm missing that part of my life where I'm expending energy working out and just kind of cleaning myself out. You say it all the time, take out your anger, your frustrations on the bag. Well, for me, it was take it out on a run, and without any sort of workout, I was just holding it all inside. So it had to get worse before it got better.
That's a great point to where you said take it on the bag and it's got to get worse before it gets better, because here's the reality, man, that those endorphins and that dopamine that releases from a good workout, whether it's walking, running. And folks, here's the thing, we'll put this out there too. You don't have to go to be a gym king or gym queen or anything like that. A simple walk, walk in the evenings, walk in the mornings, a quick, 10 to 15 minute walk during lunch or something like that, or one of your breaks. And what you just said, Harrison, when I don't work out, I don't sleep as well. I get more irritable, faster. My patterns are all just messed up, and I'm not as clear. There's clarity that comes when I go to the gym, when I lift. I'll even say this, man, just on the go. I mean, people are going to say, yeah, you're just golfing, but on the golf course, even, man. And and I'm known to play a little bit of golf. But even out there, man, you're doing something. You know, right. You're walking. Even if you're in the cart, you're still doing some walking. If you play like I play, you might as well just walk anyway because you're gonna be hitting the ball. Most people don't hit that. You know, so you're still gonna get a good workout in. But there's some clarity that comes with exercise, regardless what type it is. But more importantly, just the mindset. Whether it's working out, maybe it's that task you've been putting off. What's the mindset you have to take in order to do it? And that's why I think tonight's guest, when we come back from our break here in a few minutes, I got a few more things I want to discuss before we go to our first break. It's so important, regardless of it's, physical, even the mental part of it. This type of year, man, where the summer's about over, and Harrison, there's a lot of people when there's no next holiday to look forward, because you figure the next big holiday to look forward to for most people is Thanksgiving. All right. And that's months away from right now. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that have their attitudes begin to shrink because you think about it. They're thinking, oh, man, soon if you have kids, the kids will be back in school. And then soon you figure when daylight savings comes up here pretty quick, oh, man, it starts getting darker soon. And then all these soons. Have an attitude of right now. Just enjoy right now where we're at in life. Because the reality is this, Harrison, before we know it, man, we're going to be can't wait till this and can't wait till that. And it's like, before you know it, they're done.
Yeah.
Enjoy right now, this moment. Enjoy these times. And a mindset and attitude to appreciate where we're at right now. So I know, like I said, the dog days of summer can get kind of old for us. And that's why with our next guest, with Todd, I want to talk about, triathlon is not something that you just all of a sudden to say, like let's say, Harrison, it's August 28th. You're not going to just start saying, okay, today's what, July 19th? I'll start training now. No, it don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And a lot of the skills that Todd has developed over the years has helped him be a successful entrepreneur, business owner, CFO, COO for a lot of different companies. He started his career with IBM, then went to Microsoft, led a nationwide team, then got involved with, wanted to shrink and work with individuals more, had a portfolio that he managed, and the company he worked for was over $1 billion. So the guy is well-versed, very diverse in his experiences, but the mindset he took towards all those, how did that become equivalent to what he's done to train for Ironmans too? So that part's going to be interesting. Folks, when we come back on the AOE Attitude of Everything here on 947 The Ticket, we're going to have Todd Kelly all the way out from Portland, Oregon. And he's going to be with us on talk about the mindset, businessman and Ironman, and the attitude it takes to get through those things successfully. Not just get through, but to thrive as well. We'll be right back on the AOE 947 The Ticket.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to the AOE with AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Aaron Davis.
Hey. Folks, we are back on the AOE Air Attitude Over Everything. I am your host, Aaron Davis. We got Harrison holding it down at the mothership there at Lincoln, 93.7 The Ticket. We are in two different states this evening because me and Harrison, I'm at my home office. Harrison is there at the main station. And we got my man 2 hours time difference, thousands of miles away in the Pacific West Coast, Todd Kelly from Portland, Oregon. What's happening, homeboy? How you doing, Todd?
AD, how's it going?
Man, it's going great, brother. It's so good to see you, man. So good to see you. What's the weather like out there in Portland, man, today?
Absolutely beautiful. I don't want to rub it in, but yesterday we went to the beach. It was 75 degrees, sunny, no humidity.
No humidity. You guys never have humidity out there, do you?
We don't. It's awesome. I'll tell you what, weather-wise, this is the best place I've ever lived by far.
By far. But here's one thing about that ocean. You ain't getting in there without a wetsuit, though, right?
That's a cold ocean. You don't want to jump in. In fact, on the lake that's close to us, I'm still jumping in that with a wetsuit on because it's chilly.
Todd, you think about that real quick. That water, what would you say the temperature is right now at the water out there where you're at, the ocean where you're at, Pacific Northwest?
I'll say 65-ish.
And in Florida, where my sisters are at right now, the water temperature is like 80 degrees.
Yeah, huge disparity. It's
crazy.
It was funny. I was talking when I was swimming 2 mornings ago. I asked the kids there, I said, hey, by the way, I'm just curious about what is the temperature of the pool? And they said, well, we try to keep it around 83. And I'm going, 83? And then I, of course, got into the lake and I'm going, okay, that's why you have a wetsuit, of course.
Absolutely.
But that was funny. I'm going 83.
The water.
Yeah, at the pool.
You know, Todd, I want to hop right into it, man, because we've been talking about mindset in various parts of our lives and what keeps us going and how it's easier when you're doing a team sport or something like that, or a team project, whether it's in sports, exercise, or in business, to we have other people pushing you. But you're doing a triathlon, okay? And a little background about Todd, first of all, folks. He's born and raised here in Lincoln, Nebraska. He's an East High grad. I don't hold that against him, that he's from East. And I went to Lincoln High. Don't hold that against him. But he graduated from the University of Nebraska. 35 years of experience in various industries. There would literally be no Aaron Davis presentations had I not met Todd Harrison over 22 years ago. Harrison, short story. When I first met Todd, I met him through his business partner, Todd Kelfie. And Todd Kelfie, he's got the jeans on, the T-shirt. Todd Kelly is the business guy. He's the one with the the checkbook and things of that nature. And those all those guys did. But Todd was the guy who was the banker guy. Okay. Mm-hmm. Todd walks in and goes, so you speak. Why should I hire you? What do you speak about? What makes you any different than the other speakers out there? I was like, wow, nice to meet you too.
Hey, it wasn't quite that brutal. That was close, but we had a little conversation before.
It was about 4.5 seconds of conversation.
Hey, Harrison, we were on a mission. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, we were. Todd went on to work for, came out of college, IBM. As I mentioned before Todd got in, he also was at Microsoft with those, and he served as a national field sales trainer for a Fortune 500 company in the medical fields industry. Wanted to downsize, work more with individuals, then on to work for a firm, became VP, and they had over $1 billion in fixed and variable assets they manage. Now he's my business. He's always been my business partner, but even more so now, he has come in as my partner in this business. I don't say works for him. We work for each other, because if he's not successful, I'm not, and vice versa. So he's come in to really scale and systemize what I do. But he's also the CFO of him and his wife's business there at Susie's Lavender, and they provide organic skincare to over 200 stores on the West Coast and online. So as you can tell, Harrison, I'm saying all that to you folks to say he still has cut out time and managed time to do this Ironman. Todd, my first question is this. Everything I just mentioned, obviously you're not doing all those things now, but as far as CFO, scaling my business, scaling our business, scaling your own business, you're in 200 stores, online, local. You're 61. You look like you're 41. Father Time is undefeated, but you're sure cheating the hell out of him by doing what you're doing. Todd, why a triathlon? Why do an Ironman at 61?
Aaron, that's a great question. And you and I have talked about this before. There are certain things that come along in your life, and they literally can change your life. And I had one. It was a near-death experience on the farm. Aaron's been on a farm many, many times with his wife. I know he has a lot of great stories about that. This wasn't a great story. It was a story where my dad, my brother, and we were moving some very, very heavy trusses, 40-foot by 10-foot, 100% metal trusses. These things are heavy, 400 pounds or thereabouts. And my dad's getting a little older, and we're not sure exactly what happened, but here's what we think happened. He's in the Bobcat because he can't lift anything. And he happened to hit his elbow, hit the handle, which twitched the bucket. If you've driven one of those, are very sensitive, which in turn, and I wasn't looking because we were taking a little break, knocked over the 400-pound truss that was leaning against it. It fell on my chest.
Wow.
Aaron, I couldn't breathe. I could not breathe. And I'm literally laying on the ground, barking like a seal because I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I am so fortunate. My brother was close. We were taking a break. He had not walked inside, thank goodness, to go grab a glass of water. He came back and he lifted this truss up, which was great. The problem was I couldn't roll out. And so he's yelling at me at the top of his lungs.
Right.
Roll out.
Right.
Roll out 2 times. Third time he goes, I can't hold it much longer. You got to roll out or I'm going to put it back down. And Aaron, I don't know how I rolled out. Call it whatever you want, guardian angel, who knows? But I'm going to tell you one thing. After that, I said, I'm going to change a couple things. And sometimes I think we get into a bad habit of doing a lot of talk, but not a lot of doing. And I've been talking about doing this full Ironman for a long time. I did a number of not Ironmans, but shorter triathlons earlier. I did a half Ironman, but I'd always wanted to do a full. So I thought, guess what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to start doing it. So that was I'll call it the big change for me is at a certain point, you kind of get fed up with yourself and the talk and saying, I'm going to do this someday. And who knows when someday is going to come. Well, after that NDE, I said, guess what? My someday's here. I'm doing it.
You know what, Todd? So you think about it, it took literally of your life flash between your eyes experience for you to say, okay, I got to make some changes physically, emotionally, because really it's the grace of God that got you out of that thing. The thing falling on your chest like that, it could have been the end of Todd. Bye-bye. That could have been easily your one day right there. That
could have been my one day. And if Brad wouldn't have been there, I'm afraid it would have been. I really do.
So you go from a near-death experience, and Todd, you've always been one of the most disciplined people I know. Yeah, I mean, very regimented, very disciplined. And there's a quote that I love about discipline. I pulled this up. It's from, and I know you remember old Jim Rohn. And I say old Jim Rohn, not the sports guy, Harrison. He's got some wisdom too, but I'm talking about the writer Jim Rohn. His quote says, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Todd, you've always been a very disciplined person. You've always had that. But to start a triathlon, or to be an Ironman, how do you even prepare with your training? What does that even look like? I mean, how do you structure your training?
Yeah.
And before you say that, explain what an Ironman is.
Yeah. So it's a great question, Aaron. I've been asked that question many, many times. The first question is, wait a minute, how old are you? Why are you doing this? And then the next question is, what is wrong with you? Kind of goes in that sequence. But just to put this in perspective, so you're going to start out, it's a 2.4 mile swim, and the 2.4 mile swim is in open water. You're not in a pool. You're in open water, which means you're contending with, if it's, waves, if there's currents, everything else like that. And you're going to swim 2.4 miles. Great. You get out and then you run, and they go to what they call transition. You take a few minutes in there, you peel off all your stuff you swam in, you hop on your bike, and then you're going to pedal 112 miles around a predefined course. And we've talked about this before, Aaron. Yes, my rear end is sore. Okay.
Well, you're right. So you're basically going to be in British Columbia when you get done off that bike ride.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Maybe Seattle. But anyway, we get done with that. And then you hop off the bike. You go into transition again. You peel off your biking gear and you put on your running gear. And you do a full marathon. That's 26.2 miles.
Oh, gosh.
And then you get to call it a day.
So, okay, Todd, 2.6 miles open water.
Yep.
112-mile bike ride.
Right.
And then you run 26 miles after that?
Full marathon.
Okay, how long does the swim should take you? What are you thinking for that? What's a fast time to swim 2.3 miles or 2.6 miles?
Oh, if you can do that in, like, the pros will do it in an hour 20, hour 25. I mean, they smoke it. And some of the really good guys are a lot faster than that. For a guy, and I'm what they call an age grouper. What I am is I'm a guy, I'm going to fit in this class, 60 to 65. I have 2 goals, Aaron, and my goals are really simple. I want to finish under 17 hours because that makes me an official Ironman. And so I've got it mapped out, and we'll talk about this maybe a little bit down the road, mapped out to 16 hours. And I don't want to get injured because guess what? What I figured out real quick when I started training, I don't recover nearly as quick as I used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing, and that's what I've done. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey because I started out slow, had a coach. She started laying these things out, and these first couple workouts, I'm going, this is cake. I'm going to crush this thing. The last month, Aaron, she's killing me. Swear to God, I think she's trying to kill me.
So what did you, okay, so obviously you have the swimming, the biking, the running. So did your coach start working you in that order when you started training?
No, what happens is so all three disciplines, you've got to pay attention to them. But what you're going to do, because the swimming is a much smaller part of the triathlon, I spend time there, but I'm not going to work to get my time down. Where I'm going to make up time is on the bike, because that's about half of the total time.
Right.
It's 112 miles. And then the marathon, the whole key there is to have the fortitude and the will and the attitude that you can actually get this done and have that steel reserve that says, hey, I'm going to get this done no matter what happens. And frankly, by that time, you're doing a run jog. You're not running. You're doing a run jog.
Yeah. So Todd, okay, so I'm the part that scares me more than all these for me would be the swimming part. And that part is the one that, because you figure it's open water, you're wearing a wetsuit. Do they have people out there just kind of just bobbing in the water as far as safety measures to make sure if anybody's struggling or anything like that? To say, hey man, I'm done. I can't finish this thing. Are there safe? I'm sure there's got to be safeguards out there for you guys in the swimming part.
There are, but so when you're in a triathlon, and when my brother actually went to Hawaii at a place called Kona, that's like the capital of the triathlon world. It's the World Championships, and they call it the washing machine. And the reason they call it the washing machine is because when you have very, very competitive athletes, these are the guys who have won all the races across the world. Now they're grouping together in one place. Every single guy wants to win and has the capacity to win. And they all know it. And so what they're doing is they're really climbing all over each other at the beginning of the swim. And I've heard
literally climbing on each other?
Yeah, because you want to, obviously the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So they really don't want to come in from the side. They want to come in down the middle. And so what happens is they're killing each other. My brother's had glasses, goggles busted. He's been kicked in the head, big old knot in his forehead.
So technically, boxing is also a part of this.
Boxing is a part. And that's why, Aaron, you'll see good old Todd on the outside. I know I'm not going to finish at the top of the swim. And so it's just really interesting because, man, I'll tell you what, and the fast guys, man, they get out, they're so fast, they're never going to be caught. I don't have to worry about that. Okay?
They'll get out there ahead. So when we come back from break, man, I really want to get into, we talked a little about, the different parts, the 2.6 miles in the pool, 112 mile ride, the full marathon, 26 miles running. So we know what you're going to be doing. What I want to know when we come back and share with our listeners is how you have the mental discipline during such intense trainings and how people can equivalent that to their lives when they're dealing with tough Ironman events of their own, whether it be at something in the job, personally, those things were transcended. So, folks, we'll come back with Todd Kelly all the way out in Portland, Oregon, but he's a Nebraska native. He was just here a couple weeks ago. He's always back here, but his home's right there. We'll be right back here on the AOE podcast with Aaron Davis, my guest, Todd Kelly. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure. Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to the AOE with AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Aaron Davis.
Folks, we are back at the AOE podcast with my guest, Todd Kelly, clear out in Portland, Oregon. Todd, I got to tell you, man, it goes fast, I tell you, so I got to be back on. But I got a text from your brother, Brad.
Oh, no.
Yes, I got a text from your brother, Brad, clear down in Texas. And he says, I just happened to see TK was on the podcast tonight. I'm listening right now. I'm so damn proud of him for finally taking the jump to do a full Ironman. And he sent me a picture that says, I'm here with my Ironman brother, with you wearing the T-shirt. And he says, you can finally get rid of that shirt now.
Yeah, he had a heyday with that. That was cheap entertainment.
I love the family affair part of it, how you both are Iron Men, in my opinion, man, how you're both doing that. But Todd, this goes by so quick. Oh, let me ask you this, man. How do you balance training with other aspects of your life, man? Because I mean, that's a huge responsibility with, your work, your family, your corporate responsibilities. How do you balance it all?
Yep. So, and this, Aaron, this is I'll call it my work Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning I go through and I use the top 6 items. It's called the Ivy Lee method. It's been around forever, turn of century. I prioritize the top 6. Workouts are one of those. So if I'm working out early in the morning, obviously that's the first thing. If it's later in the day, then it's probably 6. But I go through and I prioritize everything. And I think you have to have a system. It doesn't make any difference which system you use, but you have to have a system. I use that particular method. It's nothing fancy. I put all my appointments on my calendar and then I schedule what I need to get done around there. But I've worked with a lot of people in this area. And one of the things that I saw right away is people want to take these huge, huge leaps. That they keep saying, oh, I'm going to do fill in the blank. Well, it's like me saying, I'm going to get out and do a full marathon day 1.
Right.
It doesn't happen. So there's one of the guys I really like, listening to a gentleman by the name of Rich Roll. He had a guy on there by Light Watkins is his name. And he gave the best example of how to really get something done when you're in front of a big project. You take baby steps. And so that's what I do is I break what I need to get done into baby steps, things I know I can knock off in a day instead of saying, man, this is going to take me a week. And you've seen me do this before with some of the stuff that we've done.
Yeah. Todd,
we break it down.
Let me break that. Okay, let's bring it to something that has nothing to do with competition. Let's say someone literally they want to go back to school, but they're thinking, Aaron, I've been out of school for 25 years and I don't even know where to start. What would you tell them?
Yeah. Great question. So the first thing I do is I break down, there's different parts of that question. Number one, if you're not going to go to school, if you're financially solvent and you can do that, great. That makes it easy. If you got a family, you got to think about that. If you have the financial responsibilities, obviously that's going to be a concern. And then you got to find time to study.
Right.
And so you start breaking down all those factors into what I'll call individual pieces. And that's why I take this. And that's where you have to prioritize in a way that makes sense to you. I do it 1 through 6. And if I can get 5 done, I'm on a roll. If I get 6 done, man, I am celebrating in the streets.
Let me take it to another level, Todd.
Things come up. And so I have to adjust for that every day. But going back to school, it's a huge accomplishment. And people, if they want to do it, should. But they need to break down the pieces of what it's going to take to make that happen so they can make a realistic and, more importantly, a very sound decision on whether they want to do it.
I'm glad the way you explained that too, Todd, because it really shows you the attitude and the mindset you have to go towards that. A mindset of baby steps.
Yes.
Baby steps. And giving yourself, pat yourself on the back for the small steps, for the small progress you made on those baby steps during that day.
Yeah, never, ever forget that. Ever, ever, ever. Because we wake up every morning. And guess what? It's just as easy for me to have a bad attitude as it is for me to have a good attitude. It doesn't cost any more to have a good attitude.
Absolutely. But it costs you a lot when you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Costs you a lot when you don't. Todd, I want to think about this, man. I was jotting some notes down today as I was thinking about this. What have you learned about yourself during this training regime? Because this is very intense. What have you learned about Todd Kelly?
This is a great question. And this is something I think everyone should ask themselves. There's a book by a gentleman by the name of David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me.
Yes.
A lot of guys have probably read it. A lot of women have probably read it. But he has what they call the 40% rule. And what it means is people only work at a maximum of 40% of their output. And then they start to say, oh, boy, this is it. I'm kind of too sore. I can't do it. He's saying, no way, man. You still have 60% left in the tank. I'll give you an example. On Saturday, we went on a ride, 60-mile ride to Mount Hood. And I knew the hills would be hard. I had no idea they were going to be this hard. These are 13, 14% grades. In a car, it's nothing. On a bike, it's tough, really tough. And I told myself at the beginning of the ride, I'm not getting off my bike and I'm not going to walk it up the hill. Well, I got to one of those hills. You know how bad I wanted to get off my bike and walk it up the hill because everybody else was doing it.
Right.
No, not going to do it. I was going so slow. My speedometer, 2 miles an hour. Not kidding.
But you were
still that slow.
But you were still moving.
I was still moving. And so anyway, and I said, dig, and on my, and you've seen this before, but on my watch, I've got 40% right there. Attitude of everything, and then we become what we think about most. And that's what you have to think when you're in a situation like that. That's how I overcome. Your attitude is the make or break, period.
I love that. It's the make or break. Even at that progress, those baby steps, it's 2 miles per hour, 4 miles per hour, regardless of what it is, you're still moving forward because some progress is still progress.
Yes.
So you're still moving. Todd, I told you these things go fast, man. I'm looking at my watch and I've got one more question to just roll up to you. What would be the word that you would use to encourage other people as they battle their own life Ironmans? You mentioned the 40%. Todd, you've been through a lot in life. You endured a lot through in life. You've built things. You've sold things. You've lost things. But what's been the attitude that for you to keep going through this Ironman? And what advice would you give other people when they're doing with their own Ironmans in life, if you would?
Yeah. There's a saying that has been around since the beginning of time. This too shall pass. So what we need to do is we need to have the perseverance to work through whatever is going on. I guarantee you, man, I've been through some rough spots, really rough spots. And that saying, I said it over and over again. When I get in one of those, I'm going to say, man, this too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Absolutely.
This too shall pass. And guess what? It does.
It does. It does.
It takes time, man. It's painful. There's been a couple situations where it's really, really been hard, but it passed.
It passed. And the attitude you've always taken towards it, Todd, since I've known you for all these years, man, you've always had an attitude that this too shall pass. And I'm going to have an attitude over it all as it goes through. Doesn't mean that every day I wake up like, woo, I'm ready to go. That's not even human. But you make a decision, and sometimes that decision, you have to make it several times throughout the day. Sometimes you have to make it several times throughout an hour.
Right.
But you keep making that decision. Todd, I got to be full disclosure before we go. When you said you took a 60-mile bike ride to Mount Hood, I thought you said you rode 60 miles into the hood. I'm like, bro, that's not a good idea. What are you guys going through? Gunfire training? What are you talking about, man?
That's funny, Aaron. That's funny.
They must be riding through the hood on some of these Ironmans.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I got to tell you, you think, the perseverance I have is good. My brother just finished a 5 times Ironman in France. So he did it Ironman 5 times. So just FYI, that takes perseverance.
Like a month and a half.
Yeah, it took him a week. Seriously, it took him a week. I know.
Harrison, those Kelly boys are built different, man. They're built different. Todd,
I believe it. Are you? That's incredible. 5 Ironmans.
Yeah. Todd, when is the official race, man?
It's October 22nd, Sacramento, California. I'm looking forward to 2 goals, Aaron. You know what? I want to finish under 17 hours, and I don't want to get injured. Those are my goals.
Todd, I'm going to have you on again. I know, of course, you talk almost every day being business partners, but I'm going to have you back on again, maybe about a week before, just kind of gauge how things are going. Probably before then, but for sure after, probably a couple shows just to get your experience on that. Folks, if you want to learn more about Todd Kelly's experience, Todd, are you documenting this on your Instagram or anything like that?
No, I'm not. It's one of the things you and I talked about. I need to get more active on that. I laid off because Susie was doing a lot of that for the business. Anyway, I need to get more active.
Todd is on, if you're on LinkedIn, if you look up Todd Kelly on LinkedIn, that's Kelly, Kelley, Kelley. Look up Todd's background, his experience, and he's going to start documenting this more because it's going to be great inspiration for people regarding their attitudes and just life in general, regards whether it's business or personal, whatever it may be. Todd, brother, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, man. I know we'll be visiting more tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
Folks, this is the AOE Attitude Over Everything. One of my best buddies and my business partner, Todd Kelly, clear out in Portland, Oregon. He has the Ironman in October there in Sacramento. So he'll be sharing some stuff about that. I'll be sharing more because I'll be back next week as well to talk more about attitude over everything. Because as always, folks, it's your attitude, your choice here on 937 The Ticket. Folks, have a great week. As always, it's your choice. Thank you for joining us tonight.